Hi guys, so last time I made a video about the fire element core guide. It was only around 2 minutes long, but actually I spent like 3 to 4 hours editing. It's quite tired for me. So for today, I trying something a bit more chill and new. I will just talk and share with you directly. And by the way, sorry if my pronunciation wasn't perfect. I'm still learning as I go. Thanks for understanding. Okay. Let us start with Hansami. So she is a supporter hunter. So for me, it doesn't matter. I don't care for the first and the second core. But the third is possible. Use the Thief of the Watcher because of her MP consumption. If you have MP consumption reduction, you have a lot of this value, so you can use any other core. Then next is Goto. For me, it doesn't matter for the first and the second core, but the third core is a must because he used a lot of MP, so it's going to be an MP issue if you don't use the Thief of the Watcher. Okay guys, if you have A5 Goto, you can spam his skill 2 3 times continuous. And for his skill 1, you can spam continuous for 8 times. When you finish, if enchant his skill 2, you can use another 3 times. And the skill 1 is already done for the cooldown. Okay, so for Mirei, for the first core, you can use Obsession or you can use the Deception. It depends on you. For me, I prefer the 5% of attack increase. And the second core, it doesn't really matter. If you want to max out the DPS, you can choose the Demon Horn. But for the third core, Thief of the Watcher is a must. Why? Because when she's on the Possessor's effect or the ultimate, she going to reset her basic skill 1 and 2, and every time when Mirei using the basic attack, it's going to reduce the cooldown of skill 1 and skill 2 again. So her basic skill is going to be using non-stop, which going to drain a lot of mana and make her having MP issue. The Thief of the Watcher is a must. Then next is Lennart. So these 3 core for me is some kind like must too. Why? Because when you got A5, so Lennart ultimate is reduced his cooldown for 25 seconds, which means Lennart ulti is around 19 or 20 seconds for the actual cooldown. So every time he use his ultimate, he will activate a shield. Then when Lennart using ultimate, his skill damage is going to be increased by 20% for the crit damage. And for the third core, it doesn't really matter unless you are using Obsidian. So if you use it Obsidian and you have MP issue, so I suggest you build a Thief of the Watcher core for Lennart. Then for Jinchul, it's not a matter really because he's kind of out of the meta. Because we got Goto now. Better breaker and Goto can deal more DPS. So for the Wong Dongsu, I suggest using the Eye of the Watcher because he can spam his skill very fast if you got A5. So every time he's spamming his skill, you're going to gain normal attack, which going to make you have core attack very fast. And the second and third is doesn't really matter. So now we're going next is the dark element. For Aisla, it really doesn't matter for me as well because she is still a supporter hunter. But if you have enough resource to upgrade or up the core level, I would suggest you using the deception, the horn, and the third is doesn't really matter. Why? Because if you put Aisla on the second slot, every time Aisla using skill is going to reduce the cooldown of the ultimate. So Aisla can keep spamming her ultimate, which going to gain a shield and also extra damage. So the shield is quite important like Hansemi. Why? Because we using Guardian set. So by using the Guardian set, and if you have A3 Aisla, every time Aisla using the core attack, you're going to gain a shield for the user and the other teammate. So you're going to gain extra damage. Then next is the Harper. Harper doesn't really matter. So for me, the first core best is the Deception. The second and the third, it doesn't really matter. Now Libora. Libora using Obsession is a must. Why? Because Obsession is giving us 5% attack increase. And the second core, I suggest you using the Demon Horn. And for the third is the Thief of the Watcher. Why I suggest you using these two? Normally we are using Libora on the guild boss, and I'm sure you are having MP issue, right? For A3 and A4, the A3 you can use the skill E twice. So every time the cooldown is only 8 seconds, so she can keep spamming her basic skill 1. And if you got A4, it's decrease the cooldown for her ultimate. So her ultimate cooldown is around 28 seconds if no mistake. So she quite drain mana. So I suggest you to use the Thief of the Watcher, especially on guild boss. So for the Demon Horn, you can either using the Demon Horn or using the right hand. This both is going to provide shield or decrease damage taken for her survivor in guild boss. She always die and super easy die, just like Choi. So you can choose which you like for the survivor in guild boss. So the next hunter is Silver Mana Bag. The obsession is a must because they are based on attack. Their damage is based on attack. So the obsession is the best call for them. You got another additional 5% attack. So the second and the third call doesn't really matter for me. So next is Sherrod. So Sherrod ultimate is quite unique, like Thomas. Their ultimate doesn't have any cooldown. Oh, I'm so sorry. So I suggest you using the Demon Horn for grant shield after using ultimate to increase her damage or her DPS when you got Isla in the team and using the Guardian set. So every time after she's using her ultimate, you can gain another 20% damage increase for the crit damage. So the third call doesn't really matter. And Lim, I don't think he is a meta, but still he is a attack based DPS. So Obsession is the best, and the rest doesn't really matter. So now we are going to water. So the Valkyrie chart. Valkyrie chart, I suggest you using the Eye of the Watcher, because when she is using her basic skill 1, you will activation in the core attack, especially when you have for the A1. So you can use the core attack non-stop in 5 seconds. So by using this core, you will grant another 20% of crit damage for your core attack. And the second doesn't really matter for me because her advancement doesn't have any decreased cooldown for her ultimate. So, and for the third call, for the suggestion using the Thief of the Watcher if you have mana issue. Next is a Shorin. Shorin, I suggest you using Eye of the Watcher because her normal attacks is quite fast, so she can get core attack very easily. Then the second core doesn't really matter. You can use other element just for the sub-state. And the third core is a must because her skill basic 1 and basic skill 2, the cooldown is so fast. It's only for skill 1 is only about 15 seconds and skill 2 is 10 seconds, but she drained a lot of MP. So even though my Shorin have around 7k MP consumption reduction, and I didn't build any water element core. As you can see, I didn't max any core of Tea of the Watcher. So even though my Shorin have around 7k plus MP consumption reduction, she's still having mana issue. So I'm going to build a max level 15 for Shorin. Next, for the ideal hunter, Xu. She is a attack based hunter and her damage base is on core attack, just like Water Chart or Valkyrie Chart. So Eyes of the Watcher is a must for Xu. And the second and third, it doesn't really matter. Next is Alicia, Ancient Weight Obsession. So she's based on attack. So this is the best call for her. The second call, it doesn't really matter. And the third, I suggest you using the Tea of the Watcher as well, because she quite drain mana also. Then next is Mei Ling. Yeah, she is a healer. She is a supporter hunter, so doesn't really matter. But you still can use Deception and Horn for optimize her damage and support. So for the third call, I would suggest you using the mana power, because if you got A5 weapon, Mei Ling weapon is decreasing her ultimate skill by 20%. So she, after using the basic skill 1 and 2, she got nothing to cast, so she can use the basic attack to charge her power core. And now is the final light element. So for Gorgon He, yeah, Eye of the Watcher is the best call for him. Why? Because every time he using his basic skill, even skill 1 or skill 2, she get the core attack. So you can maximize his damage after using basic skill. And the second call, it doesn't really matter. And the third call, it depends on you. If your Gorgon He doesn't have any MP issue, you can just use any other element. If your Gorgon He doesn't have enough MP consume reduction, so you have to build a Thief of the Watcher for him. So Thomas ultimate is quite unique, just like I mentioned before, like Sherrod. Their ultimate doesn't have any cooldown. So Demon Horn is the best call for him. Why? Because every time Thomas using the basic skill, skill 1 or skill 2, he will gain a shield effect. And also he can gain the core attack just like Gorgon He. So every time he using his basic skill and the core attack, he's gain the shield effect. So which is going to max out his DPS with this Demon Horn. And secondly is the Deception. So when he using his ultimate, so he can increase his ultimate damage for 20%. And yeah, if you have any mana issue, please use the Thief of the Watcher. Sorry, I forget about that. You can use Thief of the Watcher or Demon Max Sapphire. I'm not sure I'm correct or not, but you can use these two call, because both they are Thief of the Watcher is MP, still MP consumption reduction, and this one is going to gain 5% MP recover every time the user using their ultimate skill. Okay. Next is Shihua. Shihua, for me, the Demon Horn and the Deception is quite a need, because when you got an A5, so when every time when you, if you got an A5, every time when you using the ultimate, it's going to refresh the basic skill 1 and 2. So which means she going to drain a lot of MP. So Thief of the Watcher is a must. then her ultimate is very fast cooldown. I think it's around 15 seconds if no mistake, 15 or 18, something around that. So when she is using her ultimate, she grant a shield effect, then she casting her basic skill 1 and 2. She's going to gain another damage critical damage increase. Right, so next is the Chaha-In. Yeah, Obsession is a must for the 5% attack. The second core is doesn't really matter, but for the guild boss, because she died easily, so you can choose the right hand for survival, or the demon horn. And the third core is Knight of Mars, because she got MP issue also. Even though you have around 6k and you are using the Teeth of the Watcher, you still having mana issue for Cha, because she can spam her skill she can spam her skill many times, and the cooldown is quite short. And next is Min. Min doesn't really matter. You can use any core, other element, it doesn't really matter. He's just a supporter. So for Akari, it's same like Min, doesn't really matter. You can just simply use any core that max level. So it really doesn't really matter. Alright guys. Once again, sorry if I make any mistake. I'm quite nervous because this is my first time and I'm so bad in speaking for English. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye, see you next time.